Hello and welcome to your first user experience with PROCOM's GPS tracking system and video telematics. There'll be other videos that go into more detail on how to use the system for tracking, reporting, things of that nature. This video is going to be all about setting up your account. So in the beginning, we create your account. This is a demo account you're looking at, but if you click on the blue circle, or if you expand here, you can see there's a drop down. There's various items. If we go to account, you'll see your information, and if there's something you want to change, you can change. If it's a legal entity instead of an individual, there will be more information in this column, and the phone number is important because the system will use that to send you text messages. If you want to change your password, this is where you do it, is in the account tab. Also, under access rights, you can create new users. So let's say that we have a new user. First thing we need to do is create a role for the user, because by default there's only one user, one role. That's called owner. Now you can share your password and allow others to use that if you want, but we're going to create a new role. We could have this one that's called no role, which is just basic rights to view the device history, or we can add another role which we can call admin. We can give any of these additional capabilities that they don't need billing or device activation, but maybe they need to change settings, that sort of thing. So really that's what an admin would look like. So we'll save. Now that we've created an admin role, we're able to create a new admin user, and let's just say that's Stacy. Normally I would want to put her last name in, but since this is a demo environment, I'm not going to put personal information in. So we'll make up a phone number. For the email, I'm just going to put jobs@procom.com, and if anybody's interested in the job, you can send an email there. For password, I can specify whatever I want it to be, and we'll save that. So now we have a new user named Stacy, but notice that the device list is empty. So if I click on the owner, we have these two devices, but Stacy only, well, has none. So we have to bind trackers first of all. So this could allow you to set up users that can only see certain assets and not others. This is why it forces you to do this. But now that we have Stacy set up, she can see all the trackers. So once you're satisfied with the list, that's all you need to do. We can back out of this. So we've looked at account, access rights, the balance. We don't really use this system for billing, so that doesn't matter. Custom fields is something, if you really get into heavy duty usage of this and want to put custom fields on map points, talk to us. Activity log is just an activity log of who's done what on here. This plugins thing is really pretty neat. If you want to give people the ability to see vehicles in your fleet, you can copy this key into your website, for example. Tags are something else if you get into heavy usage, talk to us about, and then of course you could always log out. So those are the primary settings for the account. Now once we get that done, we need to do some setup on the individual units as well. So if we click on any of these units, it'll show us where it's at. We can click the little information icon here and it shows us information about the unit, but what we really need to do is click on the 3 ellipses and click Open Device Settings, and then we can choose which device we want to modify settings and go through these. So I'm just going to talk through these one at a time. Object label is whatever you want the alias to be. It could be a unit number of a vehicle. It could be the blue Ford. It could be, you know, whatever you call that item that you want to show up when you're looking at it. So we're going to collapse that object label because we're satisfied with demo 1, PROCOM demo 1 for this this user. Now groups, we only have one main group here. So if you want to divide things into different groups, like different departments or something like that, we can do that as well. So ask us about that and we'll help you do that. Tags, most people are not using this, so I'm just going to skip over this as well, but you can tag. So even if you got PROCOM demo 1, you could put a tag here is Mark's Jeep, for example, and then you can search by the tag. So it's just another way to identify things. The phone number, you are not going to be doing this. This is only for us to set up, so please do not click anything on this. And okay, I was trying to shrink this phone number window and it closed everything out on me. But you don't need this tab, so we're just going to minimize that. This device tariff plan, I can't open it because it's behind my recorder control, but there's nothing in there anyway, so you don't need that either. Now, odometer could be something that's handy. You could have in some cases you could have a sensor that senses your odometer reading, and that may be where you get the data from, and particularly if it's a device that plugs into the bus system, the OBD2 port, something like that. But we're using GPS data to measure mileage, and you can set your starting odometer mileage, or you can calibrate this to your odometer setting, whatever it was when you installed, for example. Let's just say 75,000 miles. And then as this device is used, it will increment the mileage based on that odometer. So there could be a little bit of variance between the GPS tracker and the mileage, but if you come in and recalibrate this, say once a quarter or something like that, you're good to go. And all the governing agencies for like IFTA and all that accept this as good for their reports. We could also add engine hours, same sort of thing. We're getting based on ignition, engine hours, double click on that, and let's say it's 2,300 hours on our engine. Maybe it's a generator or something like that. Now we've saved that. Tracking mode, you really probably, if you're not happy with the way the system is tracking, if it's not keeping up with your vehicles like you'd like, contact us. Otherwise, this can get kind of tricky. So I'd suggest you just minimize that. Unauthorized movement. So this is what triggers the alerts if somebody comes and steals your truck or hooks onto it with a tow truck. Well, there's another one for that, but this is one of the things that triggers a message to you. And you notice there are question marks here. You can point to those and it'll tell you what it is. So this control start in 1 minute is after you switch off ignition. It'll wait 1 minute before it starts monitoring for unauthorized movement, and then it's got to go. The control area is 328 feet. The radius of the control area is how far does the device have to go before it's triggered an unauthorized movement. Because you don't want somebody just bumping your car and you get an alert. Ignition source. We just leave that alone. We set that, and you don't need to mess with that. Now, harsh driving is something that if you want to monitor, you can. You can base it on accelerometer or GPS. We suggest the accelerometer. This default setting is way too low, so you want to turn it up to something at least moderate, maybe slightly above moderate. I mean, we only want to know if somebody is truly being aggressive in their driving. So somewhere, say, around 6.5 maybe, and then see if you don't get any messages, you might want to turn it down a little bit. If you're getting too many, turn it up a little bit. But realistically, at that point, I think you need to know about it. So we'll click save, and notice on each of these there's a save button. So when we make changes, we need to save, and it shows up here. Tow detection is enabled, and we have high sensitivity. Let's turn that down a bit, because I mean we want it to be pretty sensitive to that, but not so high that if wind blows you get an alert. So we'll turn that down a little bit. This LBS tracking radius, you don't need to worry about that. Working statuses, something you don't need to worry about as well. Parking detection. Now you can set the minimum idle detection. So basically, don't report to me until it's been idling for 5 minutes and under 2 miles and going under 2 miles per hour. And we can consider motion sensor, and depending on the device, we can consider ignition state. For some devices, and others we can't. So it depends on the device. So we'll save that. You could have sensors that are installed, either OBD sensors or other external sensors, and this is where those are listed, and there's really nothing for you to do there either. And data forwarding you don't need to worry about. So these are the settings that you may need to deal with: the object label, the groups, the tags, the odometer, the engine hours, unauthorized movement, harsh driving, tow detection, and parking detection. So once you have everything set up to your liking, you're good to go. And you need to make sure each of your devices has the settings you want. And at that point, you're ready to move on to reports. So we can create any of these reports, and you just need to look through the reports and see what you think would be helpful to you. And some of them are not really going to work well unless you know fuel volume, for example, unless you have certain type devices, it's just not going to do anything for you. You have to have a level sensor, fuel level sensor, to do that. But there are, and fall detection would be for a personal monitor, not for a vehicle tracker. So some of these may not pertain to you, but there are some that will. You can run trips by state. You can, which is one that a lot of people do for IFTA reporting. So we could select the whole group. We could do a trip by state report, and we could put in the date range from the 1st to the 30th, and we want it run by jurisdiction, not by country. Jurisdiction in our case would be states, and we can build the report, and then it'll show up here, and you can click on it to see it, or click the PDF to see it, either way. And there's no data because we haven't used this system, but let's see, there's maybe some data on, yeah, there's some data on another one I generated before. So that's a handy report. You can do speed violations, and I mean, just look through here and see what you want. A handy tool for reports is scheduling. If there's something you want on a regular basis, you can set up, for example, that state mileage report. We can set it up for all vehicles, all days, by jurisdiction, to run every month on the 1st, delivered at midnight for 1 month period, previous 1 month period, delivered to this email. We can do it in Excel or PDF format, whatever we want. Let's say Excel, and then you click Save Schedule, and you have a scheduled report. So you have on-demand reports and scheduled reports. Fleet management, you can put as much detail as you want about a vehicle, the driver, all of that sort of thing. Depots, if you need to put that. Drivers, if you want to keep up with all this, driver journaling. The eco driving is something that's a little bit different. This is a way for you to view the fleet's individual scoring on speeding, harsh driving, excessive idling, and then it gives a score for everybody, and you would see bar graphs for every individual here, but if you put their names in, that sort of thing. So if you're interested in eco driving, this is where you do it. And maintenance records, you can record upcoming maintenance requirements, or say an oil change every 3,000 miles, or if it's say it's in a tractor, it's every 200 hours, you need an oil change, and the system will alert you that it's time to do that oil change, or change the wiper blades, or whatever it is that you need to do. And not only that, but it will show what's been scheduled, it'll show what's due, what's been scheduled, what's been completed, and what expired without any actions. So it's a pretty handy tool. I'm not really going to get into this field service and tasks and all that, but you could send people out on tasks. But this is, if you're in a dispatch role and you want to do task management, like work order stuff in here, contact us and we'll show you that. Alerts are here. I'll mark all those as red because and then we can chat, but nobody really uses that. And then this is that same device and settings we got to from the individual record earlier. And if you have any questions, hit the help sign at the bottom. And there's handy dandy user guide, there's getting started, there's the web interface. So if we want to know more about the web interface, say we want to know about reports, maybe we want to know about scheduled reports, there you go, you can read up on it. Hopefully this video was helpful and informative. It's not intended to replace PROCOM staff in supporting you in the implementation, but it is just another tool for you. Give us a call anytime and we can help you walk through the setup of your system, or double check anything you need us to double check if you think something's not working the way you would like it to. Please click like and subscribe. It helps us to get the word out, and also that way you can keep up with any future updates that may come out. Thank you.